were looking at the time I was there to say phonology is the study of sound patterns in a certain what language. So now we have different languages, and these languages have actually what we call their patterns that they follow. That is what we looked at. That is why I even told you to say in African language we have CV. For example, batata. We have there we have CV, CV, and CV. Consonant, consonant vowel, and consonant vowel. And then in English, for example, we have this word prompts. Prompts. So there, what we have C C C C. I mean C C V. And then at the end, we have C C C C 4. Are we together? So this is the structure. This is acceptable in English. It is not acceptable in our language this side, in Bemba. In African languages, everything that we look at will mostly be CV, CV, like that. And then now, we can look at a phone. A phone is actually a sound, a physical realization of a sound. Or we can say in simpler terms, for example, the definition that is here is a phone is any distinct speech, sound, or gesture, regardless of whether it is crucial or whatever they are saying. So, in simpler terms, I would want you to get it in simpler terms. I will say a phone is a is the physical realization of a sound. Are we together? So each and every sound is actually going to be realized physically. So when you are pronouncing a certain sound, are we together? For example, when you are pronouncing this sound, we put them in these that means that is a sound. If I put them into these brackets, I put like that, meaning I'm trying to tell you to say that is a phone, which is a sound. So this sound that is we can be actually physically, it is realized physically in the sense that you are going to use vocal cords to actually pronounce it. Are we together? You use vocal cords to actually pronounce that or to actually come out to say, okay, that is. Are we together? So that is what we are saying. So that is what we call now a phone, which is the physical realization of a what? Of a sound. That is what we have. And then now we have another one, and a phone is written like this. Remember, I've highlighted. It is written like that. Don't forget. That is how a phone is what? Written. A physical realization of a what? Of a sound. Yes. And then, what is a phoneme now? What is a phoneme? A phoneme is the smallest unit of a sound in a language that can distinguish words from another. Are we together? So now, in simpler terms, I would want to simplify that. So in simpler terms, what I'm trying to tell you is phoneme is the physical, I mean the mental, is the mental realization of a sound. Are we together? So let's take this example. We have this. This one, for example, we can have these two words, top and pop. Are we together? Top and what? Pop. So this top and pop, this sound here, which is it is actually different with the way it is pronounced here. So this one is a bit aspirated as compared to when it is actually put at the end. When it comes at the end, when it comes, for example, let's just have pot there, top and pot. So this one, when we have it at first, that sound, we write this the phoneme like that. Those slant slashes, that those are the slashes that we use for a what? A phoneme. So when we have this and this, they are different. Even when we actually say we have this one and also this one, they are different. Immediately we just get this one, we put it there. They are different. These two, they are different. Are we together? And also, the way this one is produced, this t is produced, and the way this t is produced, when it is the one that is at the back of the word and in front of the word, they are going to be produced differently. So this will also make you to differentiate sounds and words, because these two sounds are different. That is why here they have given us part and but, meaning these are minimal pairs. They are telling us to say this one is different from this one. Immediately we change. Where there is P, we put B, and then where there is B, we put what? P. Even the meaning of these words will change. We have but and part. That is now what we call phoneme. Are we together? That is what we call phoneme, which is now the mental realization of the sound, what you have inside. For example, we can say we have this one, we have this phoneme, and this phoneme, when it is put at first, it is going to be actually aspirated. When it is put at last, it is not going to be aspirated. So that is what we are taught. For example, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. For example, dope and pod. So the way this sound will sound at first is different from the way it will sound at the end. That is what we are talking about. And we can change this one, we put it this side. And we change this one, we put it this side, because immediately we just change. The meaning will change. Meaning these two sounds are what? Are different sounds. That is what we are talking about on phoneme. And then we also have what we call allophone. We also have what we call allophone. When we say allo, that one, allo means different. When we say allo, it means what? Different. And then phone, this one we already know to say a phone is what? Is a physical, is a physical realization of a sound. A physical realization of the sound. So now, what is it that I'm talking about there? I'm saying allo means different, and if one is physical realization of a sound. For example, we have this sound, we have this phoneme, we have this phoneme, and this phoneme can actually be realized in different ways. It can be realized in what? In different ways. It can be realized as this one. It can be realized as that sound. Let me just a minute. Okay, it can be realized as that one. It can also be realized as this one, that sound, and it can also be realized as what? As this one. Are we together there? That one. So, for example, in the word toad, in the word toad, it comes out like that. Are we together? In the word toad, it comes out what? Like that. Where do we have this sound? Can you give me an example where we have this sound at the pronounced at the end or at the beginning? You say id. We have d, id, and t. Where can we have that? Hello, give me an example where we have this pronunciation over. Hello, are you getting what I'm saying? Are we together? So, hello. Are you getting what I'm saying? Am I audible? I just want some confirmation, please. Hello? Okay, let me just continue then. Yeah. So what I'm saying is now here when we have ID, for example, we have words like paid. This one is coming out. We have words like paid. It is also the sound that we have there. So here the sound that we have is just that one. Down here, the sound that we have is this one. And down here, we have what we call, for example, when we say kicked. Kicked is like this. The sound that is there is D, but what comes out is this sound. So we can have one sound that can be realized what differently. So when we say allophone, allophone is the variation of a phoneme. Are we together? The variation of what? A phoneme. So different evaluation or different realization of the same sound. That is what we call allophone. Different realization of the same what? Sound. Are we together? So I'm saying allophone is the different realization of the same sound. That is the allophone. Allo means different, phone means the sound. So meaning different realization of the what? Of the same what? Sound. And then we also have another term that we have in phonology that is called stress. Stress is an emphasis that is made on a certain sound. So as we are pronouncing these sounds, as we are talking about these sounds and the like, there are certain sounds that will be actually recommended or will be actually emphasized on. No, not every sound is going to be actually emphasized on, but certain sounds are going to be actually emphasized on than other sounds. So now, what is it that I'm talking about here? So when I say stress, I'm trying to tell you to say stress is the emphasis that is placed on a particular syllable or sound within that word. Are we together? So now, for example, we have record and record. Record and record. These are two different things. So the stressing point in English is that when you stress the first part or the first sound or syllable of the word, it that word becomes what? A noun. And when you stress the last part of the word, that word is what? Is a verb. Are we together there? For example, we have this one, progress and progress. Are we together? This is a noun, which is the name that is given to a person. Progress. And then when we say progress, that is a verb. To progress, that is what? A verb. So progress is the name of the person, which is a noun, a naming word. And then now progress is now a verb, which is now going forward. Are we together? So, meaning as we are coming up with these words, that is why most of in a lot of contexts we actually sound or we make mistakes in our pronunciation because the way we actually pronounce these words, our pronunciation is not that actually good. So, it is very important that your pronunciation of these words is correct. And when you say um, record and record, they are two different words. You should actually take note. If you say, give me that record, you are talking about a noun, a naming word. When I tell you to say, kindly record that for me, I'm trying to tell you to say it is a verb of actually, you are trying to take down everything that is being what? That is being said. Are we together? And then stepping to one of a very interesting component in phonology, that is the syllable. The syllable is actually the the sound that is produced without interruption, like that. A sound that is produced without interruption. So there is no interruption or the sound that is produced without pause. So, for example, We have a word that is called batata there. Batata, how many times are we pausing? Three times. We can also have the word water. Water, I mean. We have the word water. So this water or water, we are saying it has two syllables. So these two syllables, when we say o and ta, meaning these are two syllables. This one has actually three syllables, and then this one has also what? Two syllables. And we can have, for example, a word like dog. Dog has actually one what? One syllable. Are we together? So that is what we are looking at. Those are what we call the syllables. And the syllable is the sound that is produced without what? Interruption, or without what we call stopping or pausing. It will just be produced like that. And the formula now for a syllable is what you can see on my what? On my screen. So we are saying this is the symbol, what I'm pointing at, that is the symbol for a syllable. And then a syllable is equal to onset plus rhyme. Now from rhyme, that is where we get the nucleus and what? The coda. Are we together? That is the formula now. And then now we are saying this same formula can now be like this. The same formula can now be what? Like that. Now, before I go to give you to actually give you an example, I need to actually look at what is being talked about there. When we say I've said that is this is the symbol for what? For a syllable. And then now when we say on is the symbol for what we call onset. When we say on, sorry, when we say on, let me just put my, yes, my pointer there. On means what? Onset. And onset is always what? Always a consonant. Are we getting? They are always consonants. When you talk about we say, we look at we say onset, you know that it is, they are consonants. And then we have what we call, rhyme. Rhyme is what odds the nucleus and what? The coda. Now, what is the nucleus? The nucleus is the core of the syllable, the core of the syllable, meaning what determines the syllable is now the nucleus. Without the nucleus, we cannot actually have a syllable. Without the nucleus, we cannot have a syllable, because a nucleus is what makes up what? A syllable. It is the core of the what? Of the syllable. So in this case, still nucleus, what I can say are always what? Always vowels, because vowels are the ones that are what? They are voiced sounds. They are voiced sound, and they are sonorant. So that is why mostly they are the ones that would demarcate to say, okay, this one is a syllable, this one is a syllable, and the other one is what? Is a syllable. That is what we call nucleus. And the other one is what we call now, we have onset, nucleus, and coda. Coda is the end part of the what? Of the syllable. So the end part of the syllable is called the coda. Now, what is the coda? The coda now is now the consonant also is a consonant. A consonant comes, or consonants. We can have one or two. It's okay. They are consonants. So when you have a coda, you know that the consonant in a what? In a word, that is what we are going to have as what? As coda. Nucleus, vowel. Onset, consonant. That is what we have. Yeah. Now, let us now look at this example that is on my screen. So this example is saying banana, banana, banana. So banana has actually three syllables. So have you seen what I've written? So this is now syllable is equal to, I mean word, W, word, meaning word. Word, we have banana, we write word, W, banana. And then syllable is equal to onset, nucleus, coda. Are we together? So sometimes if you don't have coda, we actually remove. We just show onset and nucleus. But In order to show that there is nothing, you can actually do this. That cannot actually make you lose points. That is okay. Mr. Kangwa can actually mark that. That is okay. So now we have when we have syllable is equal to onset, nucleus, and CD. So onset is a consonant. We indicate to say C. And then onset is what? B, which is now that B that we have there, because there are three. They are what? There are three syllables there. So we have ba, na, and na also. So ba is this one, b, which is now ba. That is one consonant, one syllable. We say ba, meaning syllable is equal to onset, nucleus, and CD. Now, onset is now a consonant, and that is telling us to say it is B there. We put B. And then when we come here on nucleus, what we are looking at there is what we have now A there, which is, or we say A, we have A, banana. That is what we have. And then C, we don't have. We come to the next one where we have na. Now we say, okay, one set N, this one A, because we are actually putting this one here because it is a vowel. A vowel is always what? A nucleus. And then we have N there, we have A there, we also have what? We don't have that side at the end. And then we have this side now. This side, we have the onset, which is N, and then the nucleus, which is A, and then at the end we have CD, which is what? We have X there, we don't have. So that is what we call now the syllable. Are we together? That is what we call the syllable now. Yes. So now I also want to look at the types of syllable based on their structures. The types of what? Syllable based on their what? Structures. So when we look at syllables based on their structures, the first one that we have, the first one that we actually have, the first one that we have is what we call open syllable. And open syllable is a syllable that ends with a nucleus. Are we together?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
You are getting?
Yes.
Okay, are we together?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Kindly switch off your mic then. Yeah. So the types of syllables based on their structure. So the first type of syllables based on their structure is number one, we have what we call open syllable. We have what we call open syllable. Let me just check on the recording. Okay. Okay, let me just pause the okay, it's okay. Let me just finish and then I'll see what I'll do. All right. Okay. So the first one is what we call open syllable. And open syllable, this is a syllable that ends with no coda. Are we together? So this syllable ends with what? No coda. So there will be no coda. Are we together? So there will be actually no coda there. For example, the word he. Are we together? He. So he has just the consonant and the vowel. It is open because it is actually ending with a nucleus, which is a vowel. And then we also have now closed what? Closed the syllable. We have what we call closed what? Syllable. And closed syllable, we are saying closed syllable as is a syllable that ends with a consonant or a consonant what? Cluster. Are we together? For example, the word cat, and it has been transcribed here. This is now the transcription of the word cat there. So this one is closed in the sense that it ends with what? Which is a consonant, meaning we are saying it is what? It is closed. Yes. And then we also have what we call simple what? Simple syllable. Simple syllable is actually a syllable that has actually a single consonant in the onset and a single consonant in the what? In the coda. Are we are we to, are we together? For example, the word even the word dog, it has just single consonant and single what? I mean single onset and single coda there. And one what? One nucleus. So that is what we are looking at. And then we also have what we call complex what? Complex syllables. Complex what? Syllables. So complex syllables, what we are saying there is a syllable with a cluster of what? Consonants in the onset or coda. So for example, the word spring. The word spring as the number one, we have the pre-initial. And then number two, which is the onset there, we have initial. Number three, we have another consonant, which is post-initial one. Are we together? And then there we have the nucleus. And then on the coda there, we have pre-final coda. And the final what? The final coda. Are we together? That is what we are looking at now. Now, we also have types of what? Syllables, just not based on their structure, but types of what? Syllables. For example, the first one is monosyllabic syllables. Mono means one. When I say mono, it means one. So what I'm trying to tell you is monosyllabic words are words that have only one what? One syllable. I mean one syllable, yes. So here when we say dog, dog has only one syllable. So meaning dog has one syllable, meaning it is a monosyllabic what? Word. Are we together? And then we also have what we call disyllabic words. So die means two, die means two. So two syllables. For example, in the word water, we have wo and what? Ta there. Are we together? That is now disyllabic what? Word that we have there, water. And then we have trisyllabic. Tri means triple. It is coming from triple, meaning three. So, for example, the word that we have three syllables. For example, the word banana. The word banana has actually three syllables. Banana. Are we together? So those are three syllables. Ba, na, na. So three what? Three syllables. And then we have polysyllabic words. So polysyllabic words are actually words that have more than three syllables. More than three syllables. So what is it that I'm trying to tell you there? I'm trying to tell you to say if a word has more than what? If a word has more than three syllables, we are saying that is a polysyllabic, more than three. Now, for example, we have vakafundisha. Va, ka, fu, ndi, sha. And this word, vakafundisha, has how many syllables? One, two, three, four, five. Are we together? That is what we are talking about. Let me just save this recall.